Welcome to Hanging Out with Robert, that's me. This video contains things that I encounter throughout the day. If for some reason I complete a task and you would like to see the details, you can click on the link in the description area below. This video also contains tips and tricks that I learned throughout the years. I plan on leaving this video accessible for about 30 days. After that, you can view it through my Patreon account. Thank you very much for watching. Alright, party people. Let's get this day cracking. Still trying to dry interior parts. In Albuquerque, this stuff would have been dry in 12 minutes. Here in Ohio, with the high humidity, weak sunlight, taking forever. I also have that one bolt in front of the fuel tank that didn't get as tight as I wanted it to. So that's going to be my first thing that I'm going to deal with. And then I'll get Panther on the ground. Get these extra parts taken to the salvage yard. There it is, folks. The almost tight fuel tank strap bolt. The way I look at this, there's several ways to deal with it. Number one, just crush it. Send this old girl to the crusher. Be done with it. Number two, take out rear seat back from up top and drill a hole down to it. Put a tool on the nut, tighten it down. Good to go. You know, I just don't know if being snug is good enough for this. I'd hate to have a fuel tank come apart while I'm driving down the road. Number three, try to sneak a tool through that access right there. Over to here, put a tool on the nut and tighten it up. Number four, cut a hole in the front side of it up there and put a tool in that way, but heck, I should have done that before I put the suspension up. So I'm either going to go through that access there with a tool, or I'm going to come down through the top after pulling the seats out. But I just need to get that tight. Snug is not good enough for a fuel tank. Well, this kind of stinks. The plug behind these wires, which is covered up by this bracket being screwed up here, is oval shaped. The one here is round, and the 13mm wrench that I need to slide over there to try to drop on top of that does not fit in the hole. So I'm gonna go ahead and pull the seat out, drill down over top of it, do it that way. I believe those two nuts you see there are seatbelt bolts, two on each side, and they will be about 3 inches forward of the hole I need to drill. Can't remember which seat to take out first, the right one or the left one, so I guess I better watch my video. Well, that kind of sucks. You got to take the driver's side out before you get the passenger side out, which of course makes more work more hard. So let me go ahead and get this done. Time's a wasting and nobody's paying me about an hour. Got the seats out. Half the time was spent looking for tools. Now I got some more trash I need to vacuum up. This side over here, once I pulled the clip out, pulled the seat over, I used a pry bar to pry the seat up from the bottom. I don't know where the bar disappeared to. Oh, here it is. I put the pry bar under the seat, pulled the seat over toward me, and then I push this up, it popped right out. So I'm gonna go under there and verify this, but I think I need to drill my hole right here. Don't have nothing there now, but I'm gonna drill a hole here. As soon as I go find my hole saws, I'm gonna try to start with a smaller one before I go big. As you can see, the seatbelt screw is out. So if I measure this, I would go over about 2 inches and up about 3. So let me go ahead and drill a hole. Heck, I might have to go up more than that. Let me get my tape measure and measure that distance. 2 inches over to the outside of the car, 3 inches back. That looks like the spot that I need to be at. Some reason I couldn't find my markers that I use to paint stuff, my paint Sharpies. I'm gonna go look for my hole drill. I want to put an inch size. I think that's big enough to get a socket down in there. Elizabeth has one if I can find it, I won't find mine. And I have another one that's like 2 inches. I'm not going to drill a 2-inch hole there. So let me see what I can find and go from there. Not sure if you guys remember, I bought this jewel right here. They use it for cutting sheetrock and stuff. I use it to help get a glass out. I also bought these bits here for extreme metal. Don't know where my hole drills are, so I'm gonna use these. Cut in there, 50 times longer life, carbine teeth, and that metal feels really soft there. So this should cut right in there. I'm gonna cut a little access panel and keep this thing moving. Took me a half hour to look for those bits and decide to use this. Now remember, boys and girls, anytime you cut metal, make sure you wear some eye protection. Well, how about that? There it is, folks. I'm gonna put a socket down on it and tighten this thing up. I should have cut back just a little bit further to be right over top of it. This would have been a better spot right here. There you have it. Nice, tight, and peace of mind. And that's the other piece that I knocked out of the way. Not sure why there's so much rust up in here, but I'm gonna close this up, epoxy this hole up, and move on. Move on. If you want to cut a hole in your floor to access the fuel tank receiver nut bolt area, come 4 inches back from here, right on this seam, 1 3/4 inches over, drill a hole right there, and you should be right over that receiver nut. While that sets up and hardens a little bit, I'm going to come out here and take a few parts off of this door. This door has a slight dent in it, and we replaced it. So I'm going to try to take the glass, the handle, and the latch out of it, because those are things that people need, shouldn't throw away. Let me get this taken apart real quick and get this ready to go to the scrap yard. Then I'm going to take the end link bushings off of that, haul that to the scrap yard. I have that door stripped down where I want it. Got the glass out, the door handle off, the door latch out, a couple connectors. I'll throw that stuff on my website, a couple of seals. And man, I'm getting hungry. I'm gonna go grab a bite to eat, then I'm gonna put Panther back together. Hopefully this stuff is dry enough to put in there. Got to get that panel down here where it be in the, I guess maybe sunlight. Time to wrap this up. Had a situation in the house I had to deal with. Some cleaning chemicals was oozing all over the place in the kitchen. Anyway, got that dealt with. Time to put Panther back together and run these parts down to the salvage yard. Look at that beautiful epoxy job. Time to load these seats up and get this car rolling. Best way to get these seats back in is set the seat in place. Get you a punch or a big screwdriver. Set it right there and hit it with a sledgehammer. That'll twist it in the position and let it fall down in there. We are good to go. Took about 12 seconds. 3 o'clock. We are back together. Just need to straighten out the back of this and I'll be good to go. And I need to find this piece of the seat here. Don't know where that is. In this video, I'm going to show you how to properly lay down the seat so that you can get a flat floor surface like over there in these P80 Volvos, 850s, V70s from 92 all the way to 2000. First thing you do is find this little release, pull it, and then you can rock the seat forward. This little release here, when you pull this strap, it unlatches the seat from the floor. Then you fold it up, leave it folded up like this. These red tabs should be back in the lock position. That locks the seat bottom from coming out. You can't lift this out right now. If you take these and flip these forward like this, now you can lift this seat up and out of here with no problem. So make sure these are locked back on both sides. This one over there is actually broken. Need to replace that. Once your seat is folded forward, you lift up the headrest, put your hand under there. Works better and faster with two hands. Fold your headrest down like that. Then you squeeze this release here back, push it to the back. That red tab pops up. Then you pull the seat forward and roll it all the way down. The headrest will slide down in there and the seat will rest in a totally flat position. That's how you lay the seats down to get maximum cargo storage. If you have these nettings like this one here, you pull this up and this can stop things from hitting you in the back of the head. You lift this up, you hook it into that hole there, then you go do the other side as well. Once you come to the other side, you take this rod, you pull it out, and you stretch it into this clip on this side. Lift it up, clip it in there. Now you got a rod going all the way across. Pull this tab up on the other side. This one will hook onto that one. Pull this one up and you hook it on that rod. And now you have a barrier to stop things that you may load in the back of the car from coming and hitting the driver in the event that you have something that's loose and you hit the brakes real quick and that stuff flies forward. There you have it, a properly installed cargo barrier. And to put this away, you come on this side of this, you push this up and over, you hold this flap back, let that reel in there. You can pick the seat up if you want, so that rolls back in there. Then you unhook this side, lift it up, slide it over. Then you go on the other side, unhook it, lift it up, pull it out of the trim. Then you can lift the seat up and push that end rod all the way in. Open up your reel tray and then help that reel back into the top of the seat. And there you have it, your fold down seat instructions. In case you didn't know it, a full-size spare will fit under the floor of these 850s. I would recommend a 15-inch, 195, 60, 15. 15-inch fits great, 16-inch fits okay, 17-inch is pretty hard to get the floor closed when you got a 17-inch wheel in there. In this video, I'm going to introduce you to the back of the Volvo 850 station wagon. The new vehicles that are manufactured like this are called the V70. The V stands for versatile. What you see here is another reason why this is one of the best used vehicles that you can obtain on the market for under $5,000. When the rear seats are folded down, you have a very flat surface to load things in. This is an optional shade cargo cover to hide things that you may have in the back of the car. When the tailgate is closed, you have things loaded down here. You can bring this shade down and it will hide things from people that may walk by and look in the window. This is an optional piece, easily removed in a matter of minutes. In the back of this vehicle, you can easily load things like deep freezers, camping gear, small furniture, love seats, and things like that. I have even put a 14.9 cubic feet freezer in here, slid in here with no problem at all. Close the back door. I can fit more things back here than I could in my Jeep. Also, when fitted with optional aftermarket heavy-duty suspension, I have loaded more than a half a ton of cargo back here. This vehicle rode down the road with no problem at all. Very useful, versatile vehicle. As you can see, it has this barrier here that prevents cargo from sliding forward to the front seat passenger. In the event that you have boxes or some other things loaded in here and you have to brake suddenly, this barrier can keep things from interfering with the passengers in the front seat. This vehicle also has the capacity of having a full-size spare, as long as it's not an oversized tire. You put your jacking equipment in there and your tools. I have mine equipped with towing capabilities, so I have towed things thousands of miles with this vehicle. In the event that you have an awkward piece of cargo that you need to carry, there are tie-down rings in the corners. There's one here, there's one there, there's one there, there's one there. So you can tie things down and stop them from moving around in case you have sudden stops or turns while you're driving with heavy things in the back. When the seats are folded down like they are, you additionally have a tie ring here, and there's also a couple near the floor in the front. So you have plenty of places where you can secure your cargo. When your back seats are folded down, it is very easy to run a vacuum cleaner across this flat floor. When you're not using this as a cargo carrier, I tell my wife this is our two-seated sports car. It can easily be converted to a multiple person seating vehicle. In a matter of 2 or 3 minutes, you can lower these down, raise the seats, and have additional seating for 3 more passengers. When not in use, that cargo netting folds right down in the back of the seat. The seat quickly folds and locks up in place there, and the seat folds down where you have another passenger compartment with a safety headrest to prevent whiplash in the event of an accident. I have had adults ride in the back of this vehicle in excess of 8 hours. Very comfortable seating for adults. In the event that you're like me and you like to carry things that are messy, whether gardening supplies or material or oily transmissions or stuff like that, you can easily obtain one of these custom fitting OEM or aftermarket cargo mats to protect the carpeting in the back of the vehicle. So there you have it, the cargo area of the Volvo 850 V70 wagon. Another reason why this is one of the best used vehicles on the market for under $5,000. Panther made it over to Andrew's place. I had 2 stops I had to make. One was to torque the back wheels on, didn't do that. And 2, started hearing this racket, man. Sound like the fuel tank strap or something was dragging on the ground. Got down there, dragging a ratchet. Crazy. Courtney's got a nice little screw in her tire there. Besides all that, I'm gonna change this coolant reservoir. Andrew loaned me his. I'm gonna go ahead and put this one in his car. Woo woo. Testing the low coolant light. No? It ain't low, that's why. It's already got coolant in there. Panther seems to be riding good. Other than all the racket this was making hanging down from the rear suspension. I had this on that bolt under the fuel tank. Tighten that fuel tank strap. Had it positioned in a certain way. Forgot it. Closed everything up. Left it down there. Got about a mile from home. Heard this racket dragging on the ground. It was this. Wow. Next on deck, replacing Byron's parking brake system. Or should I say repairing it. It is not working properly. It needs to be set up and fixed so he can have a parking brake. He's had 2 mishaps with this car without having a parking brake. People getting in there, knocking it out of gear, pushing on the clutch, thinking it's the brake, just all kind of weird stuff. I told him he need to quit handing those keys out. But anyway, we're going to fix those parking brakes. Also going to replace the front hub. He's got a lug nut stuck in one of the holes on that front hub. I don't know if you guys remember that. And see what else this car needs so we can order parts for the next time I'm in town. I can do a couple more things to it. Panthers on the road. However, it's a little late today. It is after 8. It's too late to start a job, so I'm just going to clean up some of my mess here, pack up some things, and hit this first thing in the morning. If you feel that this information was useful, please like it and share it with your social media friends. You can subscribe to my channel so that you will get notifications of future videos that I post. You can follow me on Twitter, and if you need to contact me directly, please visit my website. And if you have any questions, leave them below, and someone or myself will reply to them. Again, thank you very much for watching.